What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on 99 Nights in the Forest. And pretty much I wanted to go ahead and tell you guys how I was able to get to 2,216 days survived. And this isn't going to be me showing you my base, but these are some tips that I could go ahead and give you, especially if you're playing by yourself, because this was a solo attempt and I did make it pretty far on the solo attempt. But the first thing I want to go ahead and tell you is the most important thing that you could go ahead and do if you're playing is make sure you have the right bio. What does bio mean? So pretty much for your bio, you want to make sure that you have the volcano bio. And the reason for this is because when it's compared to the snow biome, you can get a lot of those red cult crystals. And pretty much the way that you go ahead and do it is you're going to go ahead and bring any dead cultist and you're pretty much going to go ahead and toss them down here. Now, give or take, you do have to have a total of 8 of them to do it, and they will give you a variety of things. Sometimes they'll give you 3 of the red cult crystals. Sometimes it'll give you an infernal crossbow or an infernal sword. And sometimes it'll just give you one of those green bigger crystals. But pretty much when it's compared to the snow biome, here you could continuously get crystals, which helps you skip days with the accelerator, compared to the snow biome, which you only get 2 the entire game. And realistically, it's not really that beneficial. Another big thing I could tell you is if you're pretty much on a solo grind, right? You could pretty much go ahead and use pumpkins, you could use meat, you could use corn, and you could use carrots as well for fuel to go ahead and set your fire ablaze. And that's what I usually do, is just use all that food because it pretty much regenerates quickly as fuel for the fire. And a lot of people would usually use wood, will usually use any gas that they find, whether it's the big oil canisters right here, whether it's the fuel canisters or the coal, which is all right to do, but late game sometimes you can't exactly find those. And if you're a little behind, sometimes you can't even build the oil extractor, which is kind of a rip. But definitely I would say go ahead and invest into this bio furnace right here, and then pretty much go ahead and just put whatever you want in there. The only thing is, though, do not burn the cultists. Save those for the volcano. Another thing I could go ahead and tell you is go ahead and buy this. This is pretty much a respawn capsule, and the way that the respawn capsule works is that once you build it, you have to go ahead and give them one of the red crystals to go ahead and use. And the red crystals are going to be the ones that are right here, the cult necklace crystals. You're going to have to use one of those, and then once you use it, it'll pretty much stay the entire game as long as you don't move it. And if you happen to die out of nowhere, you'll be able to respawn here. Another thing that doesn't hurt is having a couple pets. And your pets can go anywhere from alpha wolves, bears, and mammoths. Regular wolves are not that great, and if you try to go ahead and get the frogs, the scorpions, or any other creature, whether it's a snow wolves, they're not that great either. So I would just say try to focus on bears, mammoths, and alpha wolves for sure. And honestly, I guess you could focus on getting the blue frogs too for pets. They do help you out in combat, and that definitely boosts your ability to survive. Another thing I could go ahead and tell you is make sure you could get as much armor as you possibly can. Like my character has an obsidian hat, obsidian chest piece, and obsidian boots. The more armor you have, the more likely you're going to stay alive longer. And last but not least, make sure to have an auto farm that pretty much works when you're gone, because having one of these will pretty much save you time when it comes to actually cooking. And yes, you could go ahead and put your pot on top of the plot, but sometimes you'll get good items such as cakes as well as pumpkins, and if they get in the pot, you just lost something good. Yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. And yeah, I hope this kind of helps you out. I know there's a lot of people that show off their bases but don't exactly explain how you guys could go ahead and advance in the game. But yeah, just make sure to follow those key steps, and yeah, hopefully they help you out. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care.